This let's just pop it in here. Ready? Stop trying to make women a thing. It's not a thing.
Wimix, man.
Wimix. Is it just women? And they just are saying it's
I
actually
guess.
spelled with an X. Well, that's not women. That's women.
Wimix.
Women.
Wimix.
Well, it's not really logical, is it?
I don't know. I keep seeing this. It keeps coming around like once a year.
Oh yeah.
People
With the
try
X,
to like
the
make
X
this
in there.
X thing happen. It's like it's not going to happen. It's
We
not.
must get rid of men, but also we must get rid of women because it's the men and the women that are causing all the issues.
Inclusive to but there's not a non-binary. It's non-binary. Okay, so there's not man and women, but there are. But you can't say.
But there's non-binary women now. I just found this out today. Did you hear this?
No,
There's
explain.
non-binary women. And that's actually why the X is there, because it's including non-binary women, which doesn't make any sense though.
You're binary, but
Logic.
also non.
See, that's that logic thing. All right, this is the reason we're talking about this. This is the whole controversy. Twitch came out and had this whole March is Women's History Month. Join us in celebrating and support all the women creating their own worlds, building their communities, and leading the way on Twitch. Of course, they spell women with X. And actually, you hear these ladies talking, and they say women. So they're not. It's not women.
They're not pronouncing it that way, but they're subtitling it that way.
They are. The subtitles
they're
definitely say women with an X, and it just doesn't make sense. And then I saw this other tweet that was going around. This is from Count Dankula. Dude's hilarious.
Dankula?
Yeah, he says, imagine being trans and fighting your whole life to be considered a full woman, and they instead change it to Wimix to point out that you are still trans. That's the logic that they're going with.
Yeah.
It's like they want to be included, but then they don't want to lose their victimhood. I think that's really what it all boils down to, you know?
Because like once you accept into the binary,
yep,
you can't be a victim anymore.
Right.
So you have to make up another niche thing that's like Wimix, because we're trying to cut out the men out of the word women, even though that's not like how the word works. It's not where it comes from, but that's fine.
And a women, which
a women
part of more of this insanity, right? Here, this is perfect. This is from Wolf. I don't know who it is, but he wrote this delightful tweet just for those too lazy to look it up. Women with an X is an alternative spelling to avoid the generalized sexism. So women is sexist. And to be inclusive of trans and non-binary women. So wait, trans women should be considered women with an E, or a woman with an A, right? Because as soon as you put the X, just like Dankula pointed out, it's pointing out that they're not women. So they themselves are admitting that they're not women. So it's like, well, which is it? That, you know, what do you want?
Yeah, it's this like circular logic that they don't like. Obviously, they're not like trans women aren't all a big hive mind, right? So real people out there don't believe this stuff. It's like this weird corporation type NPC stuff. So it's only NPCs and corporations that are like buying into this, and real people don't. So I mean, it makes sense. Like if you want to be a woman, why would you then label yourself something that's not woman? It's something that's a separate label. And again, why are we doing these labels? Like what happened to I don't want to be labeled, don't label me. But now it's like I want to be labeled, I'm disabled, I'm mentally challenged, I'm black, I'm a woman, I'm actually not a woman, I'm a trans woman. That's like, can we just be people again? Like let's just go back to that.
Just people. It's because they make it their entire identity. Like everything about them is about being trans. It's no longer about being a scientist or a successful musician or something that is not like, if it is truly who you are and you can't change who you are, then why make that your everything? Well, okay, that's baseline. Everyone around us is going, yeah, okay, sure. I don't talk about that I'm straight. I don't feel the need to announce it.
It's not a big deal. That's the whole point of my name is Quarter Black Garrett, because it's like part of my life. I've never thought about it. I just knew, I was like, okay, yeah, my dad's half black. It's whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And then it's like part of the joke is everything is so labeled. You're like, oh, I'm a quarter black, so now I'm gonna like make my name that
Yeah.
because like I need to get those victim points. Gotta get that reparations. Get my
You
ching
admitted it.
ching.
I've got you. We are
On camera.
we
It's
are
on
live
camera.
right now. You've admitted that you're using it for victimhood.
Hey,
Ha!
I'm still waiting for the reparations check in the mail. I
Just
have
a
not
quarter.
gotten
You
it.
get a quarter of the
Just
check.
I get a percentage. They work it out throughout all the people that are in America right now.
Yeah. That's it though. It's the victim, man. They
Yeah.
they want to be. They use it as a victim card. Like, look, I'm oppressed. I'm part of this oppressed system, systemic racism, systemic oppression because I'm different in whatever. Or maybe you're just not getting off your butt and doing the work that is required to like be successful in this world, regardless of your gender or sexual identity. Like, put that aside and do some work towards.
It's a way of thinking. It's like, it's not this, it's not LGBT people, it's not black people, it's not Latin people, it's not any kind of minority. It's the mentality of, I'm a victim. I need you to validate me because I am a victim. I need you to give me stuff, government, because I am a victim. It's that mentality. Like, get that mentality out and then go do something. Like you were just saying, go do work. Life is hard.
Yes, it is.
Success is hard. You don't just get it handed to you. You have to work for it. And that's the problem. I feel like a lot of, millennial generation specifically, and then now I guess Gen Z, I don't know if it's affecting them that much, but millennial generation seems to be like they were taught that just everything is supposed to be successful and you're supposed to be given everything right when you step in. Like people like Ray Fisher. I don't know if you know about the story about from Justice League. He played Cyborg. He had this whole big issue because he thought that Joss Whedon was treating him wrong.
Okay.
On the set, like he was just being very mean. I'm like, well, he's a director directing his actors, and he needs you to do a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is. Like that's how work is. Like he's a director. He's got timelines, and he's like, I need you to do these things. And okay, sure, maybe he could be short. Maybe he could be rude about it. But like that's just how things are. Whenever you step into, and he's like basically a new actor. I think he was a stage actor before that, and he's stepping into like a big production.
Okay.
Like you're not the highest, you're not Tom Cruise, like you're not going to get that right off the bat. You have to work for it. So it's like the idea of like, we take that everywhere. It seems that millennials do. They take it into every workplace. It's like, I need to be successful. And why am I not successful? It's not because of me. No, it couldn't be me. It's because of oppression. It's because sexism. It's because of the AC in my office is too cold and I'm a woman. It's like weird.
Yeah.
It's all these other things that are the problem, and not, am I doing something wrong? And maybe I should be working hard. Maybe I should be more assertive.
Yes.
Stuff like that. It's like, that's the problem that we have, is this like victim mentality. We need to get that out. Hopefully Gen Z, please
save us, Gen Z. I have a lot of hope for Gen Z. I mean, I've spoken to a couple different younger generation, coming in, Gen Z. Chandler Crump, for example, like dude he is on the front lines of understanding the political realm and everything. So you did cut out a little bit, but I heard what you were saying, so I think we were good.
Okay,
just it's all good. I see people in chat like, what's going on? Are we gonna lose him? No, he's still good. He's still good. Another thing that it's all about a perspective issue. These people are putting how they would get offended, and like, they're like reading something and then going, well, that's offensive to this person, and I'm taking it offensively. When
I'm gonna white knight, like that Wolf guy. I'm gonna step in and say, well, people that don't want to Google, how about I'm gonna white knight explain you and tell you what things are. It's like,
well, Wolf, you got some crazy virtuous points, didn't you, sir? Good job. Good for you.
Looking good.
My goodness sakes, it's like, and it's so like, it reminds me of when you like texting and reading things on the internet. There's inflections that are missing also. People are they're reading it through their own perspective and going, oh, well, this person's an a-hole because look at what they just said to me, even though I mean, you could say something sarcastically with a smile on your face, where when you hear it, you're like, oh, that person's clearly smiling, clearly making a joke.
Yeah.
Like Carlin Borisenko, she's a normal guest on my show. She said sarcastically, making fun of the people that said 2 + 2 = 5, that 2 + 2 = 5. And then she proceeded to say, under this ideology, they really do think that's true.
Yeah.
And then people were clipping it and going, Carlin believes 2 + 2 = 5. And it's like, oh my gosh.
There's no context,
man. It's like,
yeah,
you got to understand, like, anyone can manipulate any narrative, and they are just, and they're, this is the problem. They're looking for ways to victimize themselves because they are losing that victimhood. If we had true equality, then they would have no one left to blame them. They need someone to blame, and they have to blame men. Right now, it's toxic masculinity. What else is there? I mean, white nationalism is on the rise, even though
white
like,
nationalism.
they're calling out like African Americans for being white nationalists
because they're too close to whiteness. If you align yourself with whiteness, then that makes you also implicit.
Hold on, I gotta pull this. This is just
white supremacy.
It is ridiculous. I don't know if you saw this. Look, Bryson Gray. White nationalists are using Christian symbols to send a message. Front and center is Bryson Gray. It's like, what?
Right there. Well, and it's not. There's women there. There's black men. There's like a Latina there.
What is happening here? This is.
I don't know how they play these mental gymnastics to be able to still say the things that they say.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because it's like it's not there, so they have to like create it in some way, and then they have to justify it. It's like, oh, he's black, but he's internalizing his white supremacy. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Stop.
No, you're just wrong. Can't you look at it? See, it all comes back to thinking logically. When you think logically, it makes sense. It's like, oh, well, you look at it and it's like, well, actually, he's not a white nationalist because that white nationalism is actually dying out. It's something that they're trying to keep around. They're like, wait, but we need someone to blame.
We need a scapegoat. We need to point our finger somewhere.
I don't want to be accountable for my actions. That's it.
Yeah.